What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that, well, he's not a face, he's not a heel, he's a human being, damn it. JC.
I am Nestlemania, and just like you and everyone else, I am also one of John Cena's exes because we are never, ever, ever getting back together until we do when he flips. But you know what, Nestlemania? What are we starting the show? We start in the shine, always in the shine, is Cody Rhodes, and let's go Cena. Cena sucks. That segment on Monday is why I love wrestling. I feel like I've said that a lot this past year because we've had so many like amazing segments in this era of WWE, this run they're on. But this is just yet another one because this is what we were waiting for. And we can dive into the weeds with this segment, but my overarching thoughts were like, this did exactly what it needed to do, but it left a lot for us to do, which I loved. It addressed the Cena thing. It put Cena in front of the crowd, and it just let that moment happen, the inevitable moment of after 20 years of babyface Cena, he comes out and he gets this, and he did exactly what he had to do. But what I loved is they didn't blow all the Cody bullets. They let Cody come out there, and Cody was short and sweet and hit him in the jugular and walked away. And I was like, good, because I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, we're still over a month away from WrestleMania, which, by the way, Easter weekend, I didn't even realize it was Easter weekend. What the fuck are they doing? Like,
I know, right? Come on.
Like, the disrespect. The disrespect for Jesus and the bunnies.
Christ, you know, it's not like the Undertaker's going to rise.
Cody's, I guess, going to rise on Easter Sunday, so it can make sense. But
I'm just saying.
But that's beside the point. I just realized that because when I was looking at my schedule, because I don't know it yet, because it's literally the first weekend of Celtics playoffs. So they're inevitably going to play one of those days. I hope it's during the day. But it's like Easter Sunday, too. What the fuck, WWE? But yeah, we're over a month away. But I love that they left so much on the table where all of Cena's other dates where he comes back, we can have the epic face-to-faces with Cody and everything else. But this did exactly what it had to do, and it was beautiful.
There's a lot to digest here. I'm sure we're going to be saying this is one of the greatest segments we've seen in a very long time. But there is something I wanted to ask you about because I don't really have an opinion on it. I could go either way because there's positives and negatives to both. But I'm curious your thoughts, and people obviously in the chat as well. If you're listening or you want to be part of the conversation, please let us know what you think. We didn't get a new look. We didn't get new music. And he did say, you don't deserve that. You get what you deserve, which is nothing, which I tend to appreciate. But I can be talked into either way. And I've been asking people on Twitter as well. But I'm curious your thoughts about it, JC, because I have my own.
Yeah, because this was something obviously we've talked about a little bit. And it's been a big thing. And whenever you get a massive character shift, like there always is a change. Cena it's unique, and I think what he said, as you addressed right there, like makes me okay with it because I wasn't like it needs to happen because Cena's Cena, man, and it's just like that. Still, you saw those shirts were still selling like hotcakes, even if the kids who were sad were still buying the Cena last tour in Brussels or wherever they were. But it just like I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much. I do think at some point we might see some subtle changes. And maybe they save the full on to like WrestleMania where they do a different type of entrance or something just because it's more of a spectacle. But it's one of those like I feel like what do you have 2 or 3 dates before Mania? Like if that, it's like I don't feel like they need to do it. And if they do it, I feel like it's at Mania. But I feel like his merch and stuff isn't going to change, which I honestly I don't have a problem with because part of being a heel is like the delusions you create. So it kind of fits. But yeah, it was certainly surprising there was no shift at all.
Our boy, the Joe Stopper, says, I did not want a new song, but shaving his head a la Rock would have worked. So, listen.
He is still a movie star, so he can't really go bald.
Yeah, I mean,
it's in that one spot.
If you looked at the comb over, though, he did a fantastic job. I don't know the exact, but they have Cena's dates, and he's already got enough till the end of the spring here. And as I'm trying to look it up right now. There's something about like the one thing that throws me off, right? Because you try to predict what's going to happen, obviously, in your head. You see the dates and you're like, he's going to be there the night after WrestleMania and the SmackDown after. So it's like there is a potential here for him to win. I mean, there's always a potential on I would kind of be shocked because then what happens? I don't know because I don't think the final boss is really going to be around after WrestleMania. So I am kind of curious to see what happens. And again, we're talking, we're trying to figure it out, all that stuff. But the one thing I will say And I think this was really important. And I know what you're going to say here, but it does seem interesting to me is, like you said, we got part of the answer, but we didn't get everything. And the things that I want to know, if we're going to get before WrestleMania, are we going to talk about why he aligned with The Rock? Are we going to talk about number 17? I feel like we might be towards the, getting closer to WrestleMania. Obviously, this was the first step in many steps to get there. I understand that. But that segment went like 26 minutes, and I just felt like there were parts of the John Cena promo where I think he was kind of rehashing it in his brain, which I understand he was feeling it, and that's fine. But I do want to know what The Rock's relationship is here. I think there needs to be something before WrestleMania. And the importance to 17, I think that has to be part of it too.
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to get that. But the reason why I really love this segment, thought it was affected, is they didn't blow all their loads in one sitting. Because what have you complained about with every other feud? You're like, oh, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. But it's like, this is your main feud and main story going into WrestleMania. So you want to kind of piecemeal it out and have piece by piece. And obviously this segment was so good. It was going to be good no matter what. But it obviously was so good because of the crowd and everything else. It was the first time. And it was just like, you didn't need to go crazy with it. You give us enough. You open the door, you give us enough. But when you open that door, you give us a bunch of roads to go down. And that's the best part of wrestling, is the speculation, the thinking about it, like what's going to come next. It's like, that's the beauty of telling a story. And yeah, The Rock stuff's going to come. He'll have some dates and he'll do some stuff. And it's going to be probably exactly how we expect it. But in terms of him having dates after WrestleMania, I still think there's a very big chance at the end of that match, Cena's going to shake his hand and it's just going to be babyface Cena the rest. You know what I mean? I think there's a very good chance of it, which I know like a lot of people want an extended or heel run, and who knows, maybe we do get it, but it just like, it's like, yeah, he could win, or it could just be that like, I don't know. It feels like, I still feel like this is only going to be a small part of his final run, but I think it's an effective way to start it. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was so great. And it's Cody calling him a whiny little bitch and he wants to wrestle the real Cena. It just like, it did everything it had to do for me. And I can't wait for the next one.
I will say one thing. They did protect Cody in a way, because when he was like, listen, kid, and he goes, no, I'm the WWE champion. And like, he called him a whiny bitch. And we always know, we've heard anybody who does a shoot interview, anybody that has talked about John Cena, is when we hear fine speech, we know that they're going to get toasted. They didn't get to that point. Now, I'm not saying Cody can't hold his own with John Cena, but they went out of their way to make Cody protected and propped up the way he should be, and respectfully, right. And I just feel like they did a good job with that, because I was looking, there was a moment in there, I'm like, are they gonna eviscerate him 5 weeks out? Because that would be a terrible look for everything. And so they didn't, and I was so excited for that, because I felt like, okay, the one thing that is going to be hanging in the balance here, I think, for the next 4 weeks is Cody is maybe not on the level of Cena. Right, like in some people's minds, especially the casual people that are going to tune back in, like, what the fuck is John Cena doing? He's a heel?
I don't know, because when they've tuned in the last few years, man, Cody has been right there. I think that ship has sailed.
Maybe, but again, there are people who don't watch at all, right? So like,
then those people you don't even worry about, because they come back for one match. It's like, well, they're coming back, like, you know what I mean? It's like people who come back. It's like, oh, Stone Cold, I want to see Stone Cold. It's like, oh, you might,
you might. Just to put this up in a nice little bow very quickly, as we talked about, he's sticking around right after WrestleMania that week. He's gone, and he's got 4 dates in May. And
how many does he have before Mania?
He's got 2. He's got 2.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'm glad, and I know it's not next week, right? So I'm assuming 2 weeks, and then probably the one before.
So it says the 2 Raws, WrestleMania. He goes to both shows on Raw and SmackDown the next week. Disappears till the 9th of May. And he does Backlash. Him and Orton are the poster on Backlash. So I imagine
there is a chance he does win and is the champion at Backlash. But
so there's that, and then of course he's doing Saturday night's main event, and then there's 3 SmackDowns. So it's interesting to me, because if he's going to win, he would be the SmackDown champion. It sounds like he's going to be on a lot of SmackDown going forward.
Well, we also probably gonna have a draft after there too. So
perhaps. Cody will be protected. No Doctor of Thugonomics. I don't know. Next time they come face to face, Danny says he wants to see Cena dressed as Stardust. The birthday boy coming in hot.
What if Cody dresses as the Doctor of Thugonomics?
That
and
would be
Cena's dressed as Stardust?
androgynous. There it is. There it is. I love it. Right on schedule.
Oh, man.
But it's at some point somebody's gonna dress like Stardust, but not now. Anyway, we've talked a lot about this. We've gone way too long. Is there anything else you want to get on with? Let's just do it.
Oh yeah, we can keep moving on. I saw a lot of people. This is a funny joke because I saw it before I aired, and I was like, "Oh, I'm excited to watch this." People were tweeting that was the best episode of Miz TV ever. And then I watched this segment. It was just literally because, I mean, Cody's entrances just overseas in general are amazing, but he just comes up and beats and like clubs the Miz, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking great." So I just thought that was funny because I saw people tweeting that, and I was like, "Oh man, I can't wait for this. Must be an epic promo." It was like, no, it was just because the episode never happened because Cody just beat him up.
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. I will say this much: give WrestleMania to Spain. Honest to Christ, I mean, and not Brussels wasn't bad either. But I mean, like both international crowds were doing such a great job. We don't deserve stuff, honestly.
Well, it's just like they get them. Like a lot of these places, they haven't had shows for like 5 years, and so it's just like think about that. Like as a fan, like it builds up. In the U.S., we're spoiled. Like I mean, they come through our area probably like 3 times a year. And stuff. So it's a little different, but it's also like these arenas are just the European arenas are so much different too in the way they pack them in. Like that, the one in I think it was in Brussels where it was just like everyone was a top feed. It's just like it was just like it was insane.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. I mean, we could literally go anywhere here. There was a lot of good stuff this week, in my opinion. So I'll just let you just take the reins.
Yeah, I want to go to we can just run through some of the Barcelona crowd because it was a really fun start to SmackDown. That crowd was red hot. And we're getting more meat with Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, Nestlemania. And I say it every week, but like this is the most delicious thing. My diet, because of my sickness, I haven't been able to consume some meat. So all the meat I've been mostly consuming has been through WWE, and it has been Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, and it is delicious.
This boy needs some protein.
I do. I've been up in it. I've been up in it a little bit finally.
But I will say, just the way they book him with the madman killing everybody, especially Strowman, was great. I mean, you know, you can't deny that LA Knight's super over anyway, but the tag match seemed like it was a good little thing that was going on. I did laugh at like the Solo almost slipping with the F-bomb and then the U.S. tag team title. Is like, obviously that shit happens. I'll even throw in this is the part that we can put this in the heat or not. I don't give a shit because I've flubbed plenty. But like when people were giving shit to Jay missing the top dollar dive or whatever, like I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, the dude's hit that like 99 times out of 100.
You're bound to mess it up at some point.
Like, come on. Like I know everybody thinks it's funny, but like Jesus Christ, like the guy's probably trying everything.
All these people who are trolling, I'd like to see you do that. Just once.
Get out there. Do it. It is what it is. What else you got?
Well, we can stick on SmackDown because Orton internationally is always such a blast. Them sitting his son. I do enjoy him and Mello. I think it's some fun chemistry there with the wily vet, and Mello's just willing to sell everything Orton has for him. And I loved at the end that the little mix-up, Orton tries to shake his hand, Mello declines, and he eats another RKO for it. So it's just like the more RKOs we get, the better. And Mello's been very good at taking them. But that's just like they've done this match a couple times now, and I think Randy really enjoys it, and obviously Mello, he fucking loves it. So
I mean, I think Randy just likes anybody that makes him look good. So I mean, how do you not make that look fun? I mean, just even the springboard power slam was fantastic. Like just the whole crowd playing into it. Again, when the crowd's into it, it makes things more fun for us as fans watching at home. So I thought this was a slam dunk week for everybody, and I thought it was wonderful. Something that I thought was kind of like hilariously great, not even hilariously great, but like, so we have the match. We'll talk about it, but all of a sudden we have this like Tiffy and Charlotte pull apart, and it's like pull apart palooza. Like I'm not necessarily putting this in the shine, but I've been under the impression, JC, and you can tell me differently, that usually once there's like 6 pull aparts or what, like once they get to like 3 or 4 pull aparts and they're still beating each other up, I'm like, all right, enough already. But it seems like they just keep going gangbusters with this shit. Like that's their go-to thing right now in this season. It's very odd.
You know what I loved about this one is when they came back from break, they were still fighting.
Yeah,
because it gives it more of that realism feel. Because a lot of times they just go out to break and it's just like whatever, that's it. Like it's just like I kind of love in like these feuds, especially we've said it like with Jay and Gunther and Tiffy and Charlotte. It's just like these have been booked for like a month now, but it's just like think about that. Like when you like don't like someone and you're building for a fight and the animosity is building week to week, like this is a natural thing that's going to happen until you can get your hands on each other. So it's just like that's why I love the little details of making it different. Like you said, it went forever. Tiffy obviously had the great spot, but just like the little thing of them still fighting after break when they're trying to move the show along, it's just like that little bit makes it a little more special and sells me a little more on it, because it's obviously not something they do all the time, but it's just like it gives it the extra little treatment it needs to really push the point forward.
So my thought about it is, we've had this conversation before where you're like, sometimes you don't touch till the match, but because it's Mania, are you like, I want to see aggression the whole way through to Mania? Or is there a specific example that you can say, you know what, this shouldn't be touching each other right now?
I would prefer at this point, and it could be changed how they do it, that Cena and Cody don't really touch.
Okay.
Because I don't think they need to. But with these other ones, like especially the 2 Royal Rumble winners, like it's just such a long amount of time, like they have to touch. And I'm glad they have, because it's just like they did play it a little bit the first few weeks where Charlotte wouldn't, she just come out and she'd like pose over like after someone else took her out. But at some point, Charlotte had to be the aggressor, because as she settles into the heel role, because the whole purpose of this feud, win or loss, is to bring Tiffany Stratton to that next level, especially as a babyface. So to do that, you really have to reestablish Charlotte as the bad bitch she is. And they're starting to do that with her aggression. So it was super necessary for them to touch. And then Gunther and Jay, like, it's just like that it has to be, because these guys have feuded so many times. It's like it would be so ineffective if they didn't.
Okay, fair enough. What else you got?
I had 3 matches that I very much enjoyed this week. 1 on SmackDown, 2 on Raw. I'm sure you can guess what they were. We had the main event on Raw, obviously, where Braun and Finn. I was excited for that one. Penta and Kaiser. I mean, come on. Like, how many times have I said this? Like, fight forever. And then the main event of SmackDown, where we got the end new with the Street Profits. So you can go anywhere there, but I enjoyed all 3. I'm happy for the Street Profits. I'm excited that Penta and Braun seems to be the Mania match, one of the many Braun matches I hope for. So hashtag JC's hope come true, hashtag JC knows. But I also am glad we got an exclamation point on the Penta-Ludwig feud.
So let's back up a second here when it comes to the Street Profits winning. Is this not like the 6th title that feels like it's changed just randomly for whatever reason? It's crazy.
The road to WrestleMania, baby, is supposed to be unpredictable, and I love it. Crazy. I love we're just shaking it. And also, them winning sets up the fucking fatal 4-way or whatever psycho match at Mania, which is what we all want with all these teams. So it's
going to be a 5-way ladder match or something. It's going to be fucking ridiculous.
That's right, because we got the Garzas, too.
Yeah. Don't forget the Garzas.
I can't forget the Garzas.
You know, whatever they do with that fucking scar or whatever the thing they're giving themselves the eczema scratch. I don't know what it is.
Those vignettes when they were explaining that shit.
I don't know. It's the claw, not the Von Erich claw, but it's fine. So I'm happy for them. It seems way long overdue for those guys. I like their
right? Almost
4.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, they've been everywhere, but not anywhere. It seems. You said Ludwig and Kaiser. Sorry, Ludwig is Kaiser and Penta. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the lead up to all sorts of things with the Penta thing at the end. Although he wants the Continental title, made me laugh because it made me think of AEW. No, want the Continental title. Okay, wrong promotion. But then, of course, Finn and Braun put on a clinic. I thought that was fun. And then watching Penta stand tall, I'm like, oh boy. I thought we were going to get Phoenix at WrestleMania. Like I thought he was going to get shoehorned into a tag match there.
See, I still feel like that's an easy Raw or SmackDown.
Right. Which makes me think that Braun Breaker probably will pick up the big dub, but that's okay. Either way, it's going to be fun.
I could see Penta getting the win, and then maybe they start Phoenix on the other brand, because you're going to have a draft in a month anyways, and then maybe you can reunite them. Because I feel like you've given Penta this such good treatment that it feels like they might do the same thing for Phoenix, because he really is special. Like, honestly, like I love Penta, but like in terms of like in ring, I think they're very different, but I think Phoenix is like, he's like Ricochet level for me in terms of that style, where just like it is must see TV and my eyes are glued to the set when he is in a match.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold take, actually, I think.
I love both of them, but Phoenix has always been the one that really, like, Penta is unique, and that's why he blows me away in his presentation, and he's a much more physical style for a luchador. But in terms of like the pure like of that style, Phoenix to me always has blown me away. Like he is the only one I kind of put on Ricochet's level in terms of the high flying. Like I just am blown away.
So are you saying that Phoenix is better than Penta?
I'm saying they're very different, but in terms of that specific style, I think Phoenix is the elite of the elite.
So Phoenix is better. Okay.
In that style. Overall, it is a very good argument because Penta definitely has a presentation, and then what he brings in terms of violence is much different, especially within that style, which is why he blew me away when I used to watch Lucha Underground. I loved him.
Our boy Danny saying Phoenix teased on SmackDown, which yes, they did have that, Daniel. You're right. So that maybe does lead credence to what JC, the Nostradamus over here, did say. But however, JC, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that Penta, and you know how much I love Phoenix, Penta is more suitable for becoming a bigger upper echelon character in WWE.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I think Phoenix is a better wrestler and more exciting, but I think that there's also something going on here where, he's not necessarily the prototypical WWE big star. I think he's going to be famous and wonderful and do great stuff, but I think Penta might have the edge in terms of being in WWE character-wise. That's all 100%. I would say.
Presentation, baby.
Yeah.
Look, Ricochet's one of my all-time favorites, but we saw his ceiling in WWE, and he had a great success, incredible success. And Phoenix can do those same type of things, but Penta's a guy who can push the envelope of that ceiling that maybe those guys have just because of his presentation. I mean, you see it at the entrance, instantaneously that guy became a star, and it's because of his look and his presentation and the way he acts.
Daniel saying neither as good as the luchador with no name on Raw. So gracias, as he would say. With the American-made logo. That actually happened as well. Of course, Chad Gable making his presence felt in two parts of the show on Raw, which I don't know where we're going with it, but it's a thing.
It's something I enjoy it. Look at Raw 2.5 hours, SmackDown 3 hours. Raw fills those 2.5 hours a lot more enjoyably, and it's because of little things like this.
Okay. What else you got? Anyone just move on or what?
The only other. Sorry, I dropped something. Piece of shine and I saw you tweet about this too, I believe, but I thought the vignette for McIntyre on SmackDown was exactly what this feud needed, because we've talked about it, and obviously we know the frustrations allegedly with him and everything. And I do like the idea of these guys going head to head because I think it'd be very physical, but this vignette sold it 100%.
I agree with you because it made it felt like this wasn't a thrown together thing. There was some thought put into it.
There was actually history here.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'll buy into that because I like McIntyre now and I like Priest, but I feel like there's something about Damian Priest that feels like he's just kind of soul searching for a while now. And that's fine. But Drew McIntyre has proven time and time again when he's in the ring or on the microphone or just doing anything, it's hard pressed to find a better all around performer. Consistently, I think he's done a great job with it. So I kind of in the camp of he does deserve better, but they're not going to give it to him. But whatever. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have loved to see Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns and saved CM Punk and Rollins for Mania, but they didn't do that. So here we are, and I'm assuming he'll get a pay bump and that's whatever. But Mac is way head and shoulders above Priest, and I feel like, especially if Cody's sticking around, I feel like Priest and Cody have to McIntyre and Cody have to kind of have something going on there. Cause I think that's a fruitful feud.
Well, here you go. Because here's I'll call it a bonus hope, but this is something that I've considered, and it kind of ties to how we started the show, where you said, what comes next with Cena and The Rock? It's the way I look at this is obviously the Cena Cody feud is at the forefront, but I think what they're doing with The Rock Cody, and Rock has kind of hinted at this, where it's not necessarily about The Rock and Cody having a match someday. Maybe they do, but this is an overarching feud that's going to go beyond just this, where The Rock is looking to replace Cody. So if Cody inevitably gets over Cena, the next guy that The Rock could choose to try to dethrone Cody could very well be Drew McIntyre, a guy that he has always been high on and always had high praise with, which is why you got that little rumor about the Elimination Chamber, which was hilarious when he got eliminated first. But that would be the next step, because post-WrestleMania plans, especially if Cody's still champion, like you said, Drew makes a ton of sense. And I think tying him with The Rock would finally get Drew, I think, maybe over that hump, or maybe Drew is the guy who actually dethrones Cody, and that's how The Rock gets his champion.
Maybe. I mean, I'd be okay with that, actually, now that I think about it. But and Danny makes a. By the way, yes, I did not put in new conditioner. If that's what you're wondering, there, my hair does look fantastic tonight. It's a hair night for Nestle. But really, Danny makes a great point here. Drew is unfortunate that he is peaking in a time where there's so many big stars and not enough big spots available. So he peaked at COVID. And that sucked. And he did a great job carrying everything through COVID. I thought he was probably the most watchable thing on COVID, with the exception of Bailey and Sasha. And then you're right. I think, Daniel, that you kind of on the head here, where he had that CM Punk feud that kind of made him the best part of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Like, anything that happened with McIntyre and Punk for that last year was so fantastic. But then the Roman Reigns comes back. Cena comes back. Cody's still, strong.
But he's still succeeded, though. I 100% agree with what Danny said, because in terms of being the top guy, but it's just like Drew is someone who still has flourished as one of the top guys, despite all these guys coming back, because he has found a way to be the perfect foil for whether it's CM Punk, whether it's Seth Rollins, whether it's bloodline-related business. And eventually we will see, I think, with Cody, it just like, yeah, is he ever going to be the number one, top one? Probably not, because his chance was COVID. He missed it there. But so, yes, I agree that it's unfortunate for him, but I also think that he has just been so good and that he has kept himself there relevant, which I think is incredibly impressive by him. And I see Joe saying he wouldn't mind if Drew Galloway ended up back in TNA. Well, he just re-signed with WWE, Joe, and he's one of their top stars. He ain't going to be in TNA anytime soon.
Maybe he makes it back over and crosses the line, though. I guess that's NXT.
Yeah, right. I feel like he's not doing that.
Okay,
he might be a little too big for them.
That's fine. Yeah, I agree with everybody there. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
I got no more shine. So if you got more, you can do it. If not, you can hit your favorite button.
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Look, I don't really have a lot. I'll be honest here.
It's a pretty good week with those crowds. It's hard to dislike things.
Yeah, I mean, there's different things that I can like nitpick, I guess. I'd say like the Jade promo in the stands was fine, but there's something, and it's not, maybe it's just who Jade is as a character, but finding sympathy for her is incredibly hard as a viewer. I don't know why. It's just because she's that bitch.
Big, strong.
She's that bitch.
Incredible. Yeah.
She's but you know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
So finding sympathy in all this is a little bit difficult for me as a viewer. I didn't necessarily hate the idea of like, Liv and Raquel coming in and laughing at her with her laugh.
Those two should help Jade tremendously because they're true heels opposing her.
Yeah. It's always clunky. Like that's what, and I know it'll
Jade's a natural heel. Like you say it. It just is what it is. So she isn't established enough to be the great babyface yet. So I don't disagree with your points, but it's just like what they need to do. My biggest criticism with her is WWE, especially like they kind of coasted off the beginning because she was here and she was with Bianca and it was cool. But they need to unlock, and this is going to sound crazy coming from me, they need to unlock AEW Jade in there. Because AEW Jade was one of the best things on television, and she couldn't even fucking wrestle back then. We know she's not that like an incredible wrestler yet, but she's incredibly better than she was when she was their fucking dominant champion there. But they need to unlock that in WWE, and they haven't done it yet. They will, because I think it's a challenge, especially with how much time she's missed, and now you're kind of forcing this into WrestleMania. But they need to do it, which is as crazy as that sounds. Like they need to find that key and open that door, because once they do, the sky will be the limit for Jade Cargill in WWE.
I think having her win, and this is a bonus hope here too, but having her win an Intercontinental or United States Women's Championship, I think would be good for her so that she can work to the point where she feels comfortable enough so that she's ready for the big woman title when it's her time, because inevitably it's coming and we want to enjoy it because she's really good. Like on camera, her personality's there. Like
you can't teach what she has.
Yeah. She's one of one. You get it. But when the bell rings, it's like, ooh, there's still some glaring issues, but the WWE does better than anybody else, accentuating positives and hiding the negatives. So I'm holding out hope. Let's put it that way, that Jade will end up getting there, but who knows? Something that really pissed me off, and I'm sure I'm overreacting as per usual. However, it does kind of feel lazy to me. It does feel kind of like whatever to me, is we have this EO and Bianca contract signing, and goes according to plan. Out comes and she comes out with her fucking whatever, and then so she signs a contract that's already been signed and takes it away from Adam Dickhead Pierce, who can't fucking run a ship if his fucking. I'm not even gonna say it, but anyway, it just felt like such a shitty fucking segment, and I was so not into it, and it just felt like they keep rehashing these storylines where it was like Shawn Michaels did that to get into the Benoit Triple H fucking triple threat at WrestleMania 20. They've done it plenty of times. I just don't like that overused trope. It just felt
what
weird.
WrestleMania is this? Nestlemania.
It's 41. Yeah, there we go.
So that one you said WrestleMania 30.
No, 20.
That's enough time. Yeah, 20. I think that's enough time.
No, they've used it. They've used it other times.
Of course, but I will say this: it's
just stupid. It was just.
Wasn't my
I don't like anything about this feud. I really don't.
Look it. I know you were making fun of Adam Pearce there, but I think part of the reason why Raw is so much fun is the fact that the gimmick is he doesn't have control of his roster, and that's how we get this amazing chaos. But we knew Rhea was going to be in this match somehow. Was it a little cheesy that she signs a contract that didn't have a third line that doesn't make sense? Sure, but it was just like I didn't mind like the effort to instead of like doing like the typical just like throwing her in there because she's attacks him. It's like this was just something a little bit different, and like you mentioned, I view it as a callback, not as a fucking like repeat. I view it more as a callback, But yeah, I mean, was it the best segment in the world? No. But did it get us to where we need to get? Sure. Did I hate it? No. Did I love it? No. But the fact that you're so upset about it is a little mind-boggling. But I guess in a week where you don't have much to pick apart, you really have to hone in on the little things.
So here's and I said this in a tweet, but I do think this is better. Triple H did say he's like, I'm not looking at male or female. It's whatever the two best stories are the two main events to WrestleMania, which I understand. But if they keep booking. But if they keep booking shitty fucking storylines like this, the women are not going to be main eventing anytime soon in WrestleMania. I'm just
coach speak, bro. It's just a political answer.
It's so fucking terrible. Is what I'm saying is like, I'm actually sitting here thinking it'll be 5 years before the next women main event WrestleMania at this point. It feels like it.
I don't know.
It's going to take a lot is what I'm saying. Because he's willing to put tag titles in the main event. He's willing to put things that aren't titles in the main event and titles that are for men.
Yeah, no, that's all new things. But with two nights, the opportunity will arise. But it's funny because we would think that like a Bianca Rhea type match would be, but it just like unfortunately, they have the Jey Uso lightning in a bottle, and that's I think that's more of what Triple H is saying is like, look it, he pretty much saying like we know what our main event is going to be. It's going to be our main title with our main guy. Like that Cody Cena, like that was never not going to be the main event. That's been the main event forever, whatever. But with the second night, we have the opportunity to either go with a very safe one with Roman, Punk, and Seth, the triple threat with three of our biggest stars, or we can do a lightning in the bottle match, which they've done a few times now, where they pivoted. And the lightning in the bottle match just seems to be Jey Uso this year, no matter what, just because of the moment. There will be opportunities for the woman to find lightning in a bottle, but not this year.
Daniel says, I'd love to see Nestle's reaction for Becky to come back and make it a 4-way. No. Come on. If that happens, I literally will boycott that entire lead up. I won't talk about it. I won't watch. But you know what? That's true. You know what? You're using your logic against me. Kudos to you. But I still won't watch the match. I won't talk about any of the lead up. I won't even discuss it on the program. I will. If she shows up before WrestleMania, I'm out.
She feels like if she's coming back again, that's an easy Raw after Mania.
Absolutely. Keep her after Mania. Don't fucking clog her up. They just stop. Like, just stop. Is there anything that you didn't like? I'm just curious before.
I mean, it wasn't really like the stuff. Like I never love when a star like Austin Theory gets squashed, but it did really benefit Jay. And Theory's fine, but it's just like, I never loved the idea of that. But it's at the end of the day, it's not in terms of heat. Like if that's my biggest heat of the week, I think they had a pretty good week.
Okay. Shall we get hopeful?
Yes, sir.
Glorious. You're my only hope. Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go?
I can go first. Mine's gonna be short and sweet, Nestlemania, because they're in Scotland next week on Monday Night Raw, and we have a tag match playa with the before mentioned A-Town Down Under taking on Jey Uso and a mystery guest, and there are a lot of Scots in WWE. But come on. This is the biggest layup in the world because Nestlemania. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Come on. This is just, you go from a Jey Uso entrance to a Joe Hendry entrance. And then you have Joe Hendry yeeting with Jey Uso after they beat A-Town Down Under. This is the biggest layup in the world. It is just, it's just fun. Like, this is just fun. And that's what WrestleMania is about. We're trying to fill before WrestleMania with this feud. This is a fucking layup, slam dunk, home run, grand slam, hole in one, ace, all of them Nestlemania. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC Let's Come True. Joe Hendry as Jey Uso's mystery partner on Monday Night Raw in Scotland.
In Scotland. Not St. Andrews, though. So my hope is very bizarre in a way because I was thinking about this as I was watching Monday. I really liked they had everything you ever notice in the arena on Monday? Everything had like graffiti and stuff. I just thought it looked cool. I love that shit. They had the Judgment Day having a segment, right? And they were talking about whatever, and everybody seemed to be on the same page. And then it was like, yeah, we're going to get Penta. And then like, clearly they're fucking around because you see Cross talking to Dom and shit. So you know something's happening. And the one thing I thought about when it was like, they're really focusing on the Intercontinental title here. I can see a world where, of course, they boot Finn, right? Cross is in there. And it's going to be, Cross kind of, manipulating whatever. But I want to live in a world where Cross somehow, some way helps Dominic Mysterio become the Intercontinental Champion. Like, that was what he promised him somehow, some way. Like, I think having even the smallest run for him, because if you saw him on Monday pick up the title and look at it, I was like, that's a Mania after Raw thing. Like, imagine
he's a beat Penta after Penta beats Braun.
And I can see that happening because Cross helped him realize his dream. And the Mania after Raw, if that doesn't happen, I think that is a travesty. Because if you're not going to give Braun Breaker the long reign and the fucking Goldberg feeling, which, by the way, Braun Breaker versus Goldberg seems to be in the ether. I don't know about that one.
That's a Saudi match if I've ever heard one.
But man,
you think Goldberg's gonna want to fucking take a spear from Braun? Braun will kill that man. That geriatric fucking jobber will have fucking 10 broken ribs.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I don't know what's going to be faster, the speed at which he hits him with a spear or how long Goldberg can last, because honestly, it's a toss-up. So, yeah, but it's fantastic. Like, if Dominic Mysterio, just the way, like, Dominic Mysterio has the Eddie Guerrero Latino Heat shirt now, and, like, Eddie had the Intercontinental title. Like, there's just so many things you can call back to here. I'm just hoping and praying, even if it's for like a week, a month, whatever.
No, we need a run here. Dom is an mid-card champion, is money.
Look who it is. Mama Canoe.
Yes, sir.
I love that she supports the Knocker. Great lady. Great lady. Love it. So we got to go to our comeback now, all right?
Don't call it a comeback, Nestlemania, and I'm going to NXT. And I'm not going to go to last night's episode, which was Super Hot Fire, by the way. I'm going to go to the week before because we had a meat match at the Millennia between Oba Femi and your boy Moose, who you always tell me sucks. And then I watched that match, Nestlemania. That was one of the best big man matches I've seen in a long time. I was blown away. That was one of Oba's best matches ever. But Moose was incredible. And look, and I've seen Moose a few times. He didn't impress me either, but he came all out. The crowd was awesome. That entire card was awesome, by the way. The
MSG, yeah.
They always deliver. Obviously, my girl Vecker, our girls, double champ, baby. But it's just like this match really stood out because when you looked at the card, you didn't expect this to be the in-ring show stealer. And this was the in-ring show stealer on a card where you had Fraxium and the Hardys and you had Vecker and Julia and all this things. Like, this was the in-ring show stealer, and a big part of it was Moose. So I'm like, I have to give him my comeback. And Nestle, you need to atone for your sins and apologize to this man.
Well, of course he put his big boy pants on. He was watching with Shawn Michaels over there, probably going, I want a job. I want a job, because he can be in TNA all he wants and be the face of the thing. But let's be honest here, folks. If you want more money, you want to go to the WWE. So he put on his big boy working pants and actually sold for once. And I think that's my biggest caveat when I watch a Moose match is the dude doesn't sell. Oba forced him to sell. That was the issue. And then Oba decided to just uproot him in the air and slam his fucking
What's
punk
that
ass
gif
down.
with the list of excuses? That's all I hear right now, Nestlemania.
Oh, for God's sake.
Apologize to Moose.
No, I'm not going to apologize to a man.
Apologize.
No.
Apologize.
Listen. When it becomes that he does this every week and looks good, I'll come back and apologize. So far, this is only a one-time deal where he didn't slip on a banana peel and screw up. That's all I'm saying.
Such a cop-out.
No,
because you're never going to watch another match of his in the history.
Well, that sucks for him, doesn't it? Oh, well.
Apologize. There's still pretty good Nestle cards now that I think of it, too, because you tell everyone how much Moose sucks, and the one time we see him, he's incredible.
You know what?
Him into being a good wrestler, Nestlemania.
Well, guess what? You know what? A broken clock is right twice, in a day. So let's figure it out, pal. All right.
Except for you, you're wrong every time of every day.
Well, if you listen to the criticisms of my kids, yeah, you're probably right.
Kids are smarter than you, so I'm
going
to take their
they say some pretty rough stuff to me, man. You'd be surprised.
You deserve it.
No, I don't, but I take it anyway because that's what love is. Anyway, my comeback goes to, I can't believe I'm giving it to him, but God damn it, they were right in his fucking home state or hometown or home country, whatever you call it. Country, excuse me. Axiom against Gunther. I was just floored. I forgot about the A-Kid. And I love that Gunther was like, A-Kid, like he actually leaned into it, and then like the crowd went fucking ballistic for him. And this was a match where like, you get reminded every once in a while, like we are spoiled by Gunther. And A-Kid is not a tall dude, not a big guy.
He's little, yeah.
But Gunther made him believable, and Axiom took that opportunity, even being relatively small in stature, to a Gunther who's a skyscraper, and making it a believable match. And there were a couple instances in that match where you're like, holy shit, he's going to fucking do it. Not that you knew he really was, but that's what I look for when I'm watching a match, to be like, you got me. And this match got me. And I was just like, not only are they cooking on NXT, having these amazing banger after banger tag matches as for Axiom, but Axiom might actually, now that they kind of got rid of the math thing, he's just some like amazing wrestler with a mask.
Yeah.
He might have a little bit. I mean, he'll probably join some random fucking faction.
He'd take off the mask.
But he's not Fraxium after that.
No, he can still be Axiom without a mask.
Why? Why would you be Axiom without a mask?
Well, what does Axiom mean?
What does Axiom mean?
Exactly. It doesn't mean I wear a mask. So,
what do you know what Axiom means?
No fucking idea. It's probably a math reference, like an axis. I don't fucking know. But
and now I'm going to kill dead air here.
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, look at I love Fraxium. I mean, it's been no secret how they've just blown us away. But yeah, no, I love this moment too because it wasn't expected. I knew this is where he was from, but it never crossed my mind. But I just love the awareness of WWE to be like, look at. We've talked about Gunther and Jay, but they're finding ways week to week to keep these guys on TV. And the most important thing, have them both keep wrestling. Like they're both involved and make it interesting. And this European tour is a great opportunity, especially with stuff like this.
Ready?
Yes.
Axiom is the universal accepted rule or principle that is considered self-evident and requires no proof.
So there you go. You don't need a mask to be Axiom.
Is he ugly? I don't remember what A-Kid looks like.
He looks like a kid. He has a baby face.
Okay. Well, he's a baby face now. Who gives a shit? So.
There you go.
Nathan Frazier's going to be a whiny little bitch when he gets to the ring.
I love Nathan Frazier, and he has one of the best theme songs ever. And I get they give you like the start of it in the Fraxium, but then the stupid fucking Axiom theme comes in. Just play the Frazier theme. It's so good.
Don't worry, Mini Rollins will be here soon enough.
He's so much cooler than Rollins because he's like happy. He's like happy Rollins.
Happy Rollins?
Yeah, because Seth, even when Seth's like happy, he looks miserable. He has such a rat face.
I cannot wait. We've had the CM Punk Rollins feud about this whole I trained you and you hate me. Can't wait 5 years from now when it's Nathan Frazier and Seth Rollins doing the exact same feud.
Wrestling is a flat circle, baby.
It's so fucking stupid, but it'll work. And I'll eat it up because I'm fucking stupid. I'm still here after 30 plus years of fucking watching the same 7 storylines. I'm still fucking here like an idiot. So here we are. This is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think we've got everything done. It's time for the big ol' finish.
Big ol' finish, Nestlemania. On SmackDown, they have a loaded card. I don't know where they are exactly. I forget. Oh, they're in Italy. That's right. They're in Italy. If only they had Giovanni Vinci on the fucking roster. Instead, they have like no Italians. WWE, do better. Get me some Italians. I know that maybe Tony D will be on the show. Hey, the family. He's going through some rough times, though, as we've seen on NXT, dealing with my boy Sean Spears and his faction. But on SmackDown Nestlemania, we have Jade Cargill's single return against Liv Morgan. We have Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven, as she seems to be the next challenger for Chelsea, but she has to beat all her henchwomen first. We have the meat spectacular, the meat match of the week, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns returns, but as we heard from Seth Rollins on Monday, him and Punk, well, I'll be there too, as Cody would say.
This has to be the end of SmackDown, right? You would think.
Yeah, because I feel like you kick off with the meat.
Oh, yeah.
And then you end it with Roman. Well, the problem, they have timing, so maybe they do it earlier and they do the meat as the end.
Okay. I could be talking anything, but I feel like if it gets lost in the middle of it, I don't know.
Well, I feel like maybe you kick off the show with one of them. Or so I don't know. It's just because it feels like you are with Raw, it's easy now. You can put stuff last because they can do whatever they want. But with SmackDown, you're still dealing with timing issues. So, and with these three guys, the promos could get lengthy and off script. So.
I don't know. I am curious. I'll keep my peepers popped for that. There's a lot of good stuff on SmackDown this week, so there's a lot to look forward to. Hopefully they don't fumble the bag, as the kids say. But
it's hard with these crowds, man. It's so hard to fuck up. Even if you fuck up, it doesn't matter because the crowd's going to be so good.
Yeah. There's a lot to look forward to. I mean, Raw's kind of seemingly feels like it's a pull away. Like it just keeps every week having something to look forward to. So SmackDown this week feels like it might have the edge. I don't know how you feel about it, but.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good card because when we look to Raw, we have Lyra and Raquel for the Intercontinental title. This assuming will be a big one for Lyra, but maybe we get to see maybe towards her WrestleMania plans. But it's interesting to see if Liv and Raquel are actually going to be defending those tag titles or what they do there. We have the before mentioned Jay and a mystery opponent versus A-Town Down Under. I believe CM Punk will be there advertised, and then it says Cody and Cena live, but I'm not sure if that's actually happening.
Okay. Well, is what it is.
It is what it is and was what it was.
So something I've totally forgotten, I should have given my comeback to one Speedball Mike Bailey because I'm excited that he's in AEW.
I believe he already wrestled tonight too because
he did.
That show.
Yep, and apparently I can tell you what happened if you want, but
Ricochet won?
No, they had some weird ending here where they like both get to face Kenny Omega. Apparently, Ricochet. Okay. Ricochet and Speedball both won, apparently. I have to go back and look. But it says it's a three-way at Dynasty between Ricochet, Omega, and Bailey. This is what I'm seeing in my feed right now.
AEW is so frustrating when they do stuff like this. If that's what you wanted to do, why do you do it like this? They just... Is Cope going to win the title tonight? This is going to be expired in about an hour, but...
God, I hope not. I don't know. What's frustrating for me is that I really like watching like certain things in this, but if it's not Tony Storm, if it's not like the MJF Hangman stuff, then I'm kind of just feeling like I can fast forward. And
and that's sad is my list has gotten short. It's like MJF Hangman, as you mentioned. I watch Tony Storm. I watch Mercedes. I do watch Christian stuff because I still love him. But it's like, besides that, like I can't even watch Hobbs right now because he's feuding with Thou Who Shall Not Be Named. So it's like I can't even watch his stuff, and he's one of my guys. But then after that, it's like I still enjoy Swerve and Ricochet, so I watch their stuff. But it's just like, besides that, it's like FTR is not even on Wednesdays because they're always on Collision. I don't even watch that shit show. But it's just like, yeah, it's just so much fast forwarding because it's just not interesting. And it's sad because there's so much good talent there.
And they put a wrestling mask. I know it's Holly Graham and everything, Harley Graham, but she was over as Rover, and they just stick her with fucking the hologram stuff. It makes no damn sense. No damn that woman. Yes, I'm sure she's in the wrong time, and with the champions that we have. But man, that woman should be paraded out every week for something, even a promo, something, just even a concert. The woman is so talented that they're just not like the answer's right in front of them, yet they just don't give a shit. I don't know what it is. It's frustrating for me. I don't get it. It's what it is. And I forgot that Dynasty's happening before WrestleMania. So we still have
Yeah, it's a couple weeks, right?
We have, it's April 9th or something like that. April 6th, excuse me. So we have Dynasty, NXT, and WrestleMania still to go in terms of our predictions. So, there's
Speaking of NXT, Ricky Sainz, Greener Pastures, has his first singles match there this week. They had a fun show this week as well. And it's great because Nestlemania, we didn't have to go head to head with it this week, which is awesome.
By the way,
NXT,
Dark State, nah.
Is that what they're calling that?
Yeah.
Shit? Yeah. I'm calling him Retribution. It's weird because
Retro Shield.
Yeah, because I love so much of NXT, but obviously this to me, like this type of stuff I never really enjoy, and this one's not well done. It's just what's funny to me about this is that one of the dudes in it is one of the dudes who got added to the LFG show when someone got hurt. So it's like I'm watching on LFG, and then I see him here in this faction. I'm just like, it's just like it doesn't line up, and when that stuff happens, it's always tough. But obviously those shows were shot so long ago. But it was funny also looking around the Trick Eddie match there was they're going the Evolve roster. I'm like, oh, I know that person from LFG, that person from LFG. So I'm like, that means none of these people probably win, but I'm glad they all have jobs because they're all very good.
Well, they all had jobs to begin with. Spoiler alert, like.
Well, yeah, I know, but the whole point of the show is you get an NXT contract. But so
that don't mean shit.
Yeah, I saw Maxine's hubby was there, the little blonde girl that wrestles every week because she's one of the few girls that can actually has experience on that show. So.
Do you like LFG? I'm just curious. I've never watched it.
I really have enjoyed it. I know I started when I was sick because when I started to have my head clear, it was nice to have something to watch. But I do enjoy it because I think those types of shows are always fun. Like I love Tough Enough and all that stuff. And this one's like that thing. And having the legends is kind of a funny dynamic just to see those four interact. And Punk was on it this week. And it's always nice how they bring people in. Like HBK brings different people in every week. And it's just watching like the old timers kind of interact and coach them. It's a cool aspect. And you add that to like the funness of like the future greats, as they call them. It's a nice mix that I didn't expect to actually enjoy, but I think it's a very fun show.
All right. Anything else? You want to get the fuck out of here?
Let's get out of here, Nestlemania. Next week, we're back to Tuesday. No need to fear.
All right. No need to fear. No Celtics playing on Tuesday nights. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching the Jobberknocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobberknockery.